Carissa from Moksa Malas. Thank you so much for purchasing a mala making kit from my Etsy site. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make the kit, how to put your mala together. It'll be in 2 videos. The first one will talk about introducing your kit, the supplies you'll need at home, and then how to knot the beads. And then the second video will be bringing it all together, putting on the guru bead as well as your tassel. So before you get started, you will need 3 things at home. I would grab a little bowl that you can put your beads in, or a plate with a rounded edge, some scissors, but you won't need those immediately, and some tweezers. Again, you won't need these immediately. The tweezers and the scissors will be for the second video. So in your kit you received, you should have a little burlap sack, and in that sack you will have your tassel. It'll either look like this if you chose a more traditional tassel, or you'll have a sari silk tassel. You'll also have a little card detailing your beads. You can go ahead and set that aside. And then you'll have a bag that has your beads, your string, and then your guru bead is also in here. So we're going to open up our bag, and we'll pull out the beading string, and we can just set that aside for now. And we're going to dump all the beads out onto your bowl. Once you have the beads in the bowl, go through your bowl and find the guru bead. It'll look like the rest, it'll just be bigger. I like to put that back in the bag so it stays nice and safe. Seal your little plastic baggie up and set that aside. So we've got your tassel, your card, and your guru bead all set aside for later. For this video, we're just going to be working with your bowl of beads and your string. So your string should look something like this. You'll have your string wrapped up, and then it'll have a little piece of string wrapped around it to keep it together. So we'll just slide that little piece of string off and unwind your string. You'll notice as you start to unwind your string that it's doubled. On one end, you're going to have a beading needle, and the other end, you'll have 2 little tails of your string, and I tied your very first knot. So we will start at one end of the string, it doesn't matter, and we're just going to stretch down the length of the string. As you can see, the string gets a little curly because it comes rolled up, so we'll stretch it just to take a little bit of the curl out of the string, and just to pre-stretch the string because it does stretch a little bit over time. All right, so with our string nice and stretched out and our beads in our bowl, we are ready to get started. So you'll start by choosing any bead you'd like. You're going to thread your bead right onto your beading needle, and we'll just walk your bead all the way down your string till you get to the first knot. Once you have your bead up against the knot, you're going to hold the bead between your pointer finger and your thumb, and we're going to do an overhand knot, so I'll show you it from both directions. So holding the bead between my pointer finger and my thumb, I'm going to wrap the string over the back of my hand, and you can choose whether you want to wrap it around 2 fingers or 3 fingers. Once you wrapped it around the back of your hand, it's going to wrap around the inside of your hand, and you're going to pinch it and create a little cross right at the bead. So if you can see that, I crossed the string that we wrapped over right on top of where the string started at the top of our first bead. We'll go ahead and pinch the cross that you made. So we're going to pinch that X, loosen up this little loop you just created, and we're just going to pull a finger through there, grab your string, and we'll slide it all the way through. Once you've slid your string through, you can slide your fingers out of your little loop and we'll just slowly start to lose or tighten your knot down towards the bead. I'm still pinching, so here, if you can see it as a little X I created, I'm still pinching right on the X, and the string's just wrapped around my finger at this point. Once the string is pretty tight wrapped around your finger, you'll have to slide your finger out, and again, you'll just keep pulling gently on the string, and just start gently rolling your knot down as close to the bead as you can get it. When it's pretty close, you'll take your two pieces of string, this is why you have double, pull them apart, and just snug the knot down towards the bead. You don't want to pull super hard on the string, but you can definitely give it a little pull, pulling them apart, and you should end up with your knot pretty close to your first bead. So we'll do that again. So you'll find your beading needle, take your second bead now, thread it on the needle, walk it all the way down to the knot you just created, and snug it up against the knot. Pulling the bead down towards the knot does help tighten that first knot that you just created down towards your first bead. Again, we're going to do an overhand knot. I'll show it from this direction this time. So I'm going to pinch right where the bead and the string touch at the top. We're going to wrap it around the back of my hand, and then around the inside of my hand, and it's going to come to rest just on top of the first string. We'll pinch it, pinch your little cross, loosen up your grip. One finger is going to go in, slide the string all the way through. I'm still pinching my X as I start to tighten down the string onto my finger. Go ahead and slide your finger right out of your knot. Again, still pinching the little X you created. This whole time we're trying to pinch that X. Eventually take your finger out and start just rolling like this, just gently rolling the knot down the string. Once it's pretty close to your bead, go ahead and pull the two apart, and you've created your second knot. So we'll do that a couple more times just to get the hang of it, and then you'll go through and you're going to do that 108 times, one for each bead. So bead goes on the needle, walks all the way down the string, pinch right on top of your third bead now, wrap the string around the back of your hand, create an X, go ahead and pinch the X, loosen up your string here a little bit. We'll reach all the way through this little hole you created, through the loop. The string will pull all the way through. Go ahead and pinch your knot as you slide the loop closed. Then when your loop is pretty close to being closed, we'll take it off my finger this time and show you. You can just slowly start to roll the knot down towards the bead. So it's still, at this point, it's a pretty loose knot. We're just rolling it down towards the bead, snugging it up against the bead, and then we'll pull the two strings apart to snug the knot up to the bead. So we'll do one more, and then you can go for it on your own. So the bead goes on the needle, slide it all the way down. Snug your bead up against the third knot you just created. Overhand knot goes over the back of your hand, pinches and creates an X right on top of your pointer finger, right at the top of the bead. One finger pulls through the loop you created. You'll grab both pieces of your string, slide it all the way through. You can slide those two fingers out, free them. You'll end up with a loose knot. And we'll just slide the knot down the bead, getting it pretty close towards the bead. You'll notice this one I have a little bit loose, so that's where you can just pull the two strings apart and it just slides the knot right down. So you'll go through and you'll do that now 104 more times till you use all of the beads in the bowl. The second video, like I said, we will come back to our guru bead and attach that to bring it all together, and then finish it off with a tassel.